UNC and Duke, the greatest rivalry in all of sports. But will it live up to the hype this year? Find out on the next episode.
Gordy to Black. The time, 18. Shot, Jordan! Michael Jordan!
Swicker with the defense and the rebound. That's a good effort by Swicker.
Stackout streaking in on Park. Rebound stock is good, and he gets fouled by Park. Oh my goodness, what a dunk by Stackout.
Interesting that he brought him back so quickly, but you know what? They're down eight. It's fair to
glass, no good. Rebound followed by hand throw. Good! Carolina.
inside 30 overall. Love, top of the key.
Alice, the belt is over. Carolina. The Tar Heels have won the national championship.
And that is it. There is a new team in college basketball. North Carolina takes the title. Captain, any final. North Carolina is the 2009 national champion. And this year, the confetti is going to fall to North Carolina. They're not going to be denied this time.
What's up, everybody? It is Monday, August 12th. You are tuned in to the 94 Feet of UNC podcast. I am your host, Lindsay Graham. Today, we got a special guest in the building. But before we get into the introduction and let him introduce himself, please make sure that you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, share, comment to all your family and friends. And let's get this thing up. Let's just get it up and move it, taking it to the top, basically. So the special guest I got in the building today, I got my man Pablo Cong from the 5 Point Play podcast. This is a Duke podcast. My guy is a Dookie.
Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna let him get into introducing himself. So Pablo, welcome to the show, my guy.
Appreciate
How
it.
you doing,
Appreciate
bro?
it.
Yes,
Good,
sir.
man. How
Yes,
you
sir,
doing,
man. What's
Appreciate
going
you
on
reaching
with you?
out, bro. Man, I'm just chilling, bro. I appreciate you reaching out, bro. I'm always, willing to get on the net and chop it up with some basketball stuff, man. I'm a Dookie, but I don't hesitate to talk basketball at all, man. So I appreciate the invite, my brother.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely, man. It was just one of them things, man. Like I reach out to people, I see if it catches, man, and you was solid enough to reach back out to me, man, and we put this thing together. So I appreciate you coming on to the show today, man. So let the people out there know a little bit about yourself, man.
All right, bet. What's going on? I'm Pablo Cong, former AAU basketball coach, former high school basketball coach, current scout on the Pro 16 circuit, the best circuit. Scout, do a whole bunch of stuff, basketball, 5 Point Play podcast member. Make sure y'all go check us out. Check the 5 Point Play podcast out. I just do everything basketball, man. Write, scout, everything, anything, one-stop shop.
That's what's up, bro. Trying to get to your level, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, so listen, Pablo, with you being being the guest on the show today, right? So I reached out to you, and I brought some topics to your attention or whatever. So
Yes,
I
sir.
wanted to get your thoughts on things. With you being a Blue Devil, this is a friendly back and forth and friendly debate that I'm sure that in the future we're probably gonna
Absolutely.
have many more shows.
Yes,
And this
sir.
is always gonna just be classic. We're gonna keep the rivalry going in the podcasting space, I guess you could say. So with that being said, with the first topic that I brought to your attention, let me ask you, how well do you think Duke did in the off season with the freshman class and with the transfer portal?
Yeah, so I think they answered all the questions they needed to answer. I think they filled every hole that they need to fill. Pause. That was crazy. But uh, from the freshman class itself speaks for itself. So number one class with all the players they bringing in. We got size, shooting, playmaking, defense, uh, elite skill, athleticism. We got it all there, man. You know what I'm saying? The only thing is that they're gonna be young. As far as transfers, they brought in with Mason Gillis, Malik Brown, and Sion James. Um, that's the experience right there. And I like the moves that they made, because with the transfers, these are guys that are gonna play. These ain't guys that's gonna play, 5-10 minutes and then you won't see them again in the second half. And these are guys who actually are gonna play and they're gonna affect the game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because
Right.
the freshman class to do a lot of the heavy lifting. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying? Especially, they're going to rely heavily on Cooper Flag, Kama Malawash. You know what I'm saying? They're going to rely heavily on those guys like that. I think a sleeper that nobody's really talking about is Cong, who really has a chance to come in and just carve his own space out and just really be something special, man. So I'm expecting some big things from Duke. I think this class is good, man. I think their roster is very, very solid, man. Very solid. I don't,
Right.
I'm expecting some big things. So roster wise, man, you know, sheesh. I don't really see too many rosters that could match up with that, but we're gonna talk about that though.
Yeah. I'll say this. When it's speaking, being a Tar Heel fan, of course. I must say that this Duke class is crazy. I mean, it is, and I mean that it's loaded. I
Yeah.
mean, it is. I gotta give John Shire that credit for that. Um, I think I don't. My thing is Duke never really goes deep into their bench, and this year, I mean, you filled out all 13 scholarships.
Yep.
So, I mean, how deep do you think Shire is gonna go with this team, especially bringing in the experience transfers, but you got all of this talent from the freshman side of things. So, like, I don't know how deep he would go this year. Like, what
Yeah.
do you?
So I think what we might see, obviously traditionally, Coach K and John Shire, the 2 years that we have seen John Shire coach, he hasn't really, we haven't really had a deep bench. So,
Right,
I mean, we really didn't have the opportunity afforded to us. So now we're going to see what he can do, or what he's going to do as far as coaching wise. Is he going to adapt and play more players? Like, I think we're going to see now. And I think with the roster that we do have coming in as well, like I mentioned, the
hmm
transfers that's coming in, they're definitely going to play because they're that good. And with the freshmen we have, all of them are good enough to play, plenty minutes as well. So it's gonna be real interesting. So you might see a roster that's going 10 deep. It's possible. It's possible. But
yeah,
I think it's also going to be based off of, who's playing the best. And maybe it's a game by game basis. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be something I think that John Shire is going to have to adjust to. And then I think we're going to see the his true coaching style. I think this is the
right.
year that you're going to see something different, and you'll see what they got.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I do think that I got I mean, we'll get into it a little bit later, but there is one player on the Duke team that bothers me. Or worries me. And it's
Hmm.
not your typical Cooper Flag like everybody is speaking about. But I mean, that's
Yeah.
like I said, we'll get into that topic later. I will say this though. I if you're asking me, I don't there's a few players I don't really see getting a lot of burn like that from Duke this year. Um,
So who you think that's gonna be?
well, we know the last pickup that you got out of the portal. What was last name? Sheffield, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah. Cam Sheffield.
So,
Yeah, I don't.
yeah.
He's not gonna get a lot
So
of burn. I don't think he's gonna
yeah,
get a lot of burn.
I don't think he's getting no burn. I don't think what is his name? It's the guard that you all brought in, the freshman.
Which one?
Oh man, what is his name?
Isaiah
Not
Evans,
Canuto.
Darren Harris.
He's borderline to me. He's borderline.
Who?
Isaiah Evans. No,
Isaiah Evans.
it's not Evans. It's not Knipple.
Talking
It's
about
not
Darren
Malawa.
Harris.
Darren Harris. I don't think he's gonna get a lot of burn. I don't think is it Ndongo?
Oh, talking about
I don't know.
Nganga.
Patrick Ndongo. That's not your center because Malawak is your center, right?
Yeah. Malawash is gonna be the center, and Ngangba is gonna be the he should be the backup, like 4 or 5. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Possibly.
possible. It's possible. It's possible.
Possibly.
It's possible.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think Mason Gillis is gonna get a whole lot of burn like that. I don't. I think you all have there's too much skill that you all have out of everybody else that it pushes. Isaiah Evans might be the deepest that you go, and then you got the rest of those guys that I just mentioned to me behind him. Now Mason Gillis might be right there with Isaiah Evans, maybe, but just because of his experience. But I think that's about as deep as Duke is gonna go this season. I could be wrong, of course, and I want to be wrong because I don't want y'all beating us for sure. So I mean, but
I feel you.
mean, it's gonna be tough.
I think it's gonna be tough to get minutes for sure. But I think these guys are just gonna have to go out there and play, and they're gonna honestly. I think every player is gonna have to 100% earn every minute that they play because there's at least one or maybe even 2 players like playing before or behind them that could take all the minutes. So they're gonna have to go out there and they're gonna have to compete, man. They're gonna have to compete. So if they do that, I think they'll be fine.
Let me ask you: you think this is the first year that all of the players have had to actually compete for spots with under John Shire?
I mean, I think that they always all have to compete, but I mean, as far as like, to get like starting spot, like is anything guaranteed? I say this is probably the first year where nothing is guaranteed for sure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because it wasn't
you didn't have a
guaranteed last year.
Yeah, because you didn't have a player better than Filipowski. You know what I mean? So you knew what it was. You know what I'm saying? You knew he was going to play all the minutes. He's going to start. There's no question about that. You know what I'm saying? Like this year, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a toss up, man. It's a toss up because, if Tyrese ain't playing well, if Caleb ain't playing well, you can insert a bunch of other players. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of them things. You know what I'm saying? Cooper Flag ain't having a good game. Throw Isaiah Evans in. You know what I'm saying? If he not having a good game, throw Mason Gillis in. You know what I'm saying? Sion James could take the minutes from whoever. You know what I mean? Like it's just, it's a good problem to have. It really is a good problem to have, but it can also, if you don't manage it the right way, if you don't manage it the right way, it'll definitely bite you for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, moving 8 to 11 miles up the road, we'll kind of like play ping pong with this. As far as with the Tar Heels, I think that we kind of in the same situation as Duke, if you ask me, because we got
the guards, for the guards.
Well, I think the guards is fine because you got one that can always come in for the other.
That's what I'm saying. I think like as far as like your guard depth, y'all have so much that you guys kind of are like, it's one of those situations to where like, okay, if this guy ain't playing well, another guy could come in. He might take all the minutes. I think that's the same situation as Duke. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys are so deep at the guard spot, and I really like y'all backcourt. Like I love it actually. I like your backcourt a lot.
Backcourt is dangerous. The backcourt is extremely dangerous. Now, when you get in, like you said, getting into the front court, there are
y'all a little suspect.
Just a little bit. Like I think I've heard a whole lot of people kind of saying a lot of things about Carolina, like during the off season in regards to they don't have no money to bring in players. They've missed out on other schools are just beating them to grabbing all of these other players when I think a lot of people don't really know like that because of the fact that what number one, North Carolina is not broke. Okay, that's the first thing
That'll
that
never happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the first thing. I don't know where these people get these ideas from that Carolina is broke, like they ain't got no money to pay players. That is just ridiculous to me. Um,
It's social media, bro. Like people say something and they'll spread like wildfire.
yeah, but it's
They
it's
don't even know what the hell
podcasters
they
too.
talking.
It's other
Yeah.
podcasters too, like that have
Yeah, it
said
might
this. A
be,
lot of
but they definitely don't know. It's North, like you said, it's North Carolina. Like, what are we talking about, dog? It's North
right.
Carolina. Like, let's get serious here. Like, come
Yeah,
on, man.
exactly. So, like a lot of people were like, oh, Carolina missed out on Coleman Hawkins. That's not true. We did not miss out on Coleman Hawkins. Coleman wanted $2 million. If we wanted Coleman, we would have gave Coleman $2 million. What people don't understand what it is about Carolina is the fact that Hubert and North Carolina as a university, they really based a lot of things off of like integrity and morals and dignity more so than
Yeah,
just money. Like Hubert is not bringing in a player that just wants to come for money. That's not who he is. That's not who we are as a program. And people
yeah,
don't seem to understand that. They think it's this just all about the money, and they're like, oh, you missed out on all of these centers. Well, a lot of these centers Carolina wasn't really interested in. They may have talked to him, but they wasn't really interested in. If anything, I would say it was probably maybe it was about two, maybe three centers that Carolina was really interested in that they may have missed out on Onyenzo, Amarui, Clifford Amarui,
Clifford Amori,
yeah,
Clifford Amori.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I think no, Jonas Adu.
yeah,
Okay, it is what it is. All right, so those are the three. I mean, you're looking if that's what you want to say, then that's fine. But when they mentioning like the Umar Balos, the Danny Wolves, the Aaron Bradshaws, and all of these or whatever, we wasn't really into them like that. We may have
yeah,
been in talk with them, but we wasn't really into them like that. So
yeah.
I just wish people would stop with those narratives like Carolina is broke because that just doesn't make sense. Um, Throwing those narratives out there and pretty people listen to that and they run with it and it puts a stain on the university. That's like somebody saying the same thing about Duke, like Duke ain't got no money. That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
That's crazy
yeah. That's
to me.
just one of those things, man. That like, when you have the history that you have, and when you're elite school, you have the history that you have. You get a certain type of player consistently. You're gonna have haters. That's why I just honestly I ignore a lot of it because I'm just like people just hate Duke because of how good they are and their history, and you know what I mean. And it's the same thing with North Carolina. You know what I mean? Because you guys got the same type of history. You know what I mean? The tradition,
Right.
everything. You know what I'm saying? Is just as good as Duke. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like, what I mean? They always gonna throw shots and throw hate, you know what I'm saying, on the university and the school, on the coaches, on the players. That's how it is, man. I just ignore a lot of it because these guys, man, and it'd be a lot of people that do it, man. They don't even know what the hell they're talking about. I'll be honest with you. They don't even know basketball like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they could probably tell you about some hockey or some shit like that, or badminton, but you talk about
Right.
basketball, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. So
Right.
I ignore
Right.
it.
Yeah. So, but I'm with you in the whole front court area. It is a little scarce. I do think that this is going to be a good year for Jalen Withers. Uh,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how Cade Tyson transitions into the ACC play. Being the fact that he shot, what was it like 50 something percent from 3 point last year, or in
Mhm.
at Belmont, like that's
Yeah.
ridiculous numbers. So it's going to be interesting to see how that transitions over into ACC play. Vin Allen Lubin, haven't really watched a whole lot about him or too much about him. I do know he was solid at Vanderbilt, but he's a big guy. But how is
Yeah.
that gonna work for Carolina as well? Jalen Washington, he's got to bulk up a little bit. and his
Yeah.
agility, and he has to get his agility right. I think his jumper is there. Like, he shoots great
Yeah.
from the field.
Yeah,
So
he does. I think with Jalen Washington, I think he's probably the most talented big man that you guys have, talent wise.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like I think he's talented, but obviously, like you said, he does have to bulk up, and he's gotta improve his IQ a little bit more as well. So,
right.
but I think y'all be straight though. And
It,
I've always liked Zayden High though. I've always liked Zayden High.
I
They
got a
gotta
feeling
find some
he's
they
going to
gotta
be big
find some
too.
minutes. They gotta find some minutes for him, man. They gotta find
Yeah,
some minutes for him. He just gotta, work hard and practice, carve out a little space for him, maybe play 15, 20 minutes a game, maybe not even that much, maybe 10, 15. I don't know. But
yeah.
he's a real energetic player, man.
Hmm.
He's really, really good rebounder. He's good defender. He's always talking on the court. I mean, you could use that kind of energy out there. So
Absolutely,
I think
absolutely.
this is a big year for Zayden High. It's a big year for
Yeah,
him and how his career can go. So yeah,
yeah. I was going to say the same thing about High, man. Like, I think, I've seen social media posts and things like that of him working on his, his jump shot and all of that. The biggest issue with High is if he stays out of foul trouble, he'd be great. He's going to be
yeah,
really, 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 really good. I love his 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 edge that he has. He's kind of got
yeah,
that Harrison Ingram dog in him a little bit. Like, I like that.
yeah.
So that's gonna, if he can bring that onto the court, that's gonna be really huge for Carolina moving forward. Especially now that
Absolutely.
he's got another year under his belt now. So it's a little bit of growth or whatever. So, but we'll see. So I guess for the next thing that I wanted to ask you, what, and you kind of already like talked about it a little bit, but what is your biggest expectations for Duke this year? Like, I know you all. Can we,
Mm,
I guess let me, before we ask that, let me ask you this: do you think last year was a successful season for the Blue Devils?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I thought that they had a really, really good season last year, especially from how they were highly ranked coming out. Everybody anticipated all this stuff, and then they kind of hit a speed bump, and they had some internal stuff going on at Duke that really caused some strife with the program, but they were able to work through it, and they made it all the way to the Elite Eight, and I don't know how they lost to North Carolina State. I don't know, but it happened, and I mean, I thought they were at least gonna make it to the Final Four. You know what I'm saying? So, and they
Right,
had they had enough on their team. I think what hurt them the most last year is when Caleb Foster got hurt and they didn't have any depth. You know what I'm saying? At any position. So I think that's
right,
what hurt them. You know what I'm saying the most. But they definitely had a team and a roster last year that could have won a national championship. And honestly, they do every year. They have a great roster every year. It's just a matter of
right.
putting it together and working. So I mean, I think that considering everything that happened and stuff, I think they had a really successful year last year.
Yeah, I think, and this is just me, and this is not because of my biasness or anything, but if you ask me, I don't know if Duke really had a successful season like that last year. And the reason why I say that is if you want to look at how far they went, going to the Elite Eight, and things like that, that might have been the best accolade for them last season was going to the Elite Eight. And the reason why I say that is because number one, you lost to your rival twice.
Hmm.
You didn't win the ACC regular season. You lost in the ACC tournament, so you didn't get anything there. And I think I'm basing it off of, because every year Duke wins something, whether it's the
Yeah.
ACC regular season, or if they don't win that, they win the ACC tournament, or
Hmm.
something. And they normally beat Carolina at least once in the season.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
I
know,
feel you on that.
you know
I
what I'm
feel you on
saying?
that.
Like,
I can see where
and the,
I can see where you're going.
yeah, 'cause so I guess my thing is, they didn't accomplish any of that last year. Now, if you're looking at the record, if you're looking at how far that they went as far as the Elite Eight, sure, if you want to give them that. But other than that, it's not your typical successful Duke season that we as basketball
Yeah, I
fans
mean,
are used to seeing.
yeah, I mean, I see where you're going with that, but I think in the grand scheme of things, I think getting to the Elite Eight, getting 2 players drafted, um, I think, they're looking at a bigger picture. And I mean, I think that I think for everything that I knew about what was going on in the program, I'm not like some supreme insider, so I don't know everything. But from the
Right.
stuff that I heard, I think that, I think they might have overachieved a little bit. I think, like you saying, I think what you're trying to say is that the Elite Eight was probably their ceiling. I would say, yeah, Elite Eight, Final Four probably was their ceiling. And I think they hit it. They lost the game to North Carolina State. It just is what it is. But you know, I don't know. I'm one of those people that think that if you don't win a national championship, it's a failure. But you can't really say it's a failure because they did win. I mean, they did have a good record. They put 2 kids in the NBA. They made it to Elite Eight. So, it's just one of those things, man. But because like every year the bar is so high at Duke, bro, it's like championship or bust. That's literally it, bro. Every
Yeah.
year, bro, it's like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, championship. Every year. That's what we say, championship, championship, They have enough to win a championship. They have enough to win a championship. You hear that every single year at Duke. Every year. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what the roster looks like. And if the roster is as good as it is now, right? It's definitely champ. That's the bar now. It's championship. Like we don't want to hear nothing else. You know what I'm saying? That's I mean. But I think I'm a little sensible, a little more sensible than some people. And my thing is just like, hey, as the kids are gelling, they got good chemistry, and they playing hard. They're listening to the coach, and the coach is really doing his job and coaching at a high level.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? The bar should be the championship. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
you still got to get on the floor and you got to play the game. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
I mean, it's the same way in Chapel Hill. Like every year,
Yep. Yep.
I mean, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's Carolina and Duke. Like Duke knows about Carolina. Carolina knows about Duke just because of how close they are, the rivalry. It's the
Mm-hmm.
same way in Chapel Hill, man. Like every year, it's championship, 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 championship.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, that's normal to think that way for
Yeah.
us. Like, and for Duke fans, it's normal to think that way because of how prolific the schools are. So I get it. We just have to wait and see. What do you think this if it's not a big successful season for like that, which I think Duke is going to be pretty good this year. I'm being objective on this show. I
Yeah.
don't want to, but I will give y'all some praise, Pablo. I will give y'all some
Yeah.
praise.
It's all
You know what
good.
I'm
It's all
saying?
good.
But
But like I said, I think North Carolina is going to be really good this year as well. You know what I'm saying? I think, and especially college basketball, guard play always reigns supreme, bro. You know what I'm saying? Any team that
right,
wins a chip or goes far, they got elite guard play. And I think you guys have really elite guard play.
yeah,
So, I think that you
and,
guys are going to be straight.
and not only that, but if you look at it, like Carolina could run that. And as bad as I hate to say this, because I'm beginning to dislike them just as much as I dislike Duke, but Alabama, if
Mm,
you use that Alabama like method, they didn't really have big men like that, but
yeah.
they went to
But I don't
they
think the
went to
way,
the Final
my
Four.
opinion, the way Alabama plays is not conducive to winning championships. They just want to run, 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 shoot a bunch of 3-pointers. I don't think that's not
Right,
a winning recipe. You know what I'm saying? It could because you don't
right,
have Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson shooting those 3-pointers. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So it's like,
right,
you know what I mean? No team has that. So it's like if you just want to run and gun and shoot, try to outshoot everybody and make as many 3-pointers as possible. I just think that at some point you're gonna have to play defense, and at some point you got to run some half court offense. So
right,
I'm not
right.
a I'm not a Nate Oates. I wouldn't say
I
believer. I think
listen.
he's definitely a good coach, but I think that his the way that his style of play, I don't see that winning
Yeah,
nothing, no championship at least.
yeah. I, I'm the same way. I just, Nate Oates that's just a whole nother story. He keeps coming into North Carolina, taking Carolina players. I'm about sick of Nate Oates. I'm gonna be honest with you. We got Alabama
Mhm.
coming to Chapel Hill this year, so there's some revenge in that. Um,
Hope y'all whip
but
their ass.
oh man, I hope. Oh man, I hope we put it on Alabama so bad. I can't stand Alabama. I don't like Nate Oates. I don't. Is he a decent coach? Sure, if that's what you want to give him, but that's a whole nother story. He's yeah. Alabama's just a whole nother story. But the defense is crazy, and I think that
Yeah.
that might be a method that because Hubert is big on defense, rebounding defense,
Mhm.
and things like that. So I think Carolina's got a great team. They're not super big, but they're strong defensively. Like Drake Powell, who's like another Seth Trimble. Then you got Trimble, and then with Ian Jackson, you got So I do think the defense is going to be really solid. Like I said, the
Yeah.
thing is just figuring out how players like Lubin and Tyson are going to make that transition to playing
Yeah.
the style that Hubert wants them to play. So
Yeah,
it's gonna
for
be
sure.
that's gonna that's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be very interesting.
I really like Drake Powell too. I think he's probably gonna be the best freshman defender in the conference
Conference.
for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah, that kid be locking up. He be locking up. I think he got a chance to
You
start
do.
for y'all next year too, man. I think
You
he got a
think
chance. I think he has a chance, man. I think he has a chance.
that's gonna be interesting because that's actually going into the next to my next question. Basically, like what your starter predictions are for Duke. And then I have a few lineups for Carolina, but I didn't have Drake Powell in any of my lineups, but I'll let you go first as far as your starter.
Okay, for Duke, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna vary. I would say game to game or every few games. I think they're gonna have to switch it up because it's like they got so much out there. You know what I'm saying? And guys gonna be
Mhm.
vying for starting spots that they gotta earn it. So it's gonna be different. So I would go with Tyrese, Caleb, Cooper, uh, Malik Brown, and Common. You know, what I mean that would be my starting five. But I think you could also go Tyrese, C. Foster. You go with Con Knipple, you go with Caleb, and you go with Malawash. Or you could take Malawash out, put Malik Brown in. I mean, they have so many interchangeable pieces, man. So many guys that can start, that come off the
Yeah.
bench. You know what I mean? And it's like it's so many different things. That's what I like about this roster because there's so many different things you could do with this roster, man. And that's why I think Duke is going to be so deadly, is because of the versatility, man, and just be able to, plug and play players. Pause. So I think
Yeah.
uh I think it's gonna be dangerous, man. What
That's
you think
that
about North? Oh,
that's
go
a
ahead, go
that
ahead.
no, I was just gonna say that's always a good thing when you got so many different options to go when it
Mhm.
comes to like lineups and things like that.
Yeah,
That's always a good feeling that to have or whatever. But uh for Carolina, man, I mean, let's see. So the ones the ones that I seen, and I don't I kind of agree with them, but I don't know yet. But Cadeau, Davis, Jackson, Tyson, and Washington. Um, which is that means Tyson would have to play the four. He's got
yep.
to, or whatever. But he's 6'7", so he's a little bit taller than Cormac, and probably a little bit bigger than Cormac. So that may work. That may work, but I don't know if I see Tyson at the three. So,
I just
but
don't.
then
I just don't starting him though. Like, but you start Tyson right, and he's gonna be expected to stretch the floor, right?
right,
So the only thing with that though is that you guys don't have like Armando Bacot anymore. So Armando Bacot was able to command the double team all the time. So I don't see you guys having a player that could command the double team like Bacot did, and for him to just throw it back out You know what I'm saying? Into
Right.
who's the kid that y'all had before Cormac? Who played the four? What's the other kid's name? White kid. Like he looked like a caveman. What was his name?
Wojcik?
No,
Like,
not Wojcik, not Wojcik. The kid who came from Oklahoma, man.
oh, you
Big
talking
beard.
about Brady Manick.
Yeah, Brady Manick. Yeah. I think that was what you guys did. Now you guys were at your best when you guys had Brady Manick because he's such an elite shooter. Yeah, Brady Manick stretching the floor, Armando Bacot commanding the double team, kicking it out. Guards driving and kicking. You guys just don't have that low post threat, the big body that Armando Bacot was to make boy that effective this year. Unless Hubert does some different things with him, move him around, get him moving, and I mean, what's his name?
Yeah.
Kate Tyson.
K.
So
Tyson.
yeah, I mean, I think he's
Yeah.
an excellent shooter, and I think he can do it. So, and I think he does some really, really good things. I just think that Hubert is going to have to be very, very. He's gonna have to use his imagination with him. He's definitely gonna
He's
have to
gonna
do some
have to.
special things.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, he
gonna have
definitely gonna
to
have to do
because
things.
the lineups, it'd be different. Like if Carolina had another big man, but not having that backup big man. Some of these guys out here, you get somebody that's got to go up against Umar Ballo from in Indiana. That's a recipe for disaster. Like
Mm-hmm.
so because he's so big. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna get your only big man that you have in foul trouble, and then now where do you go from there? Like now you got to run smaller. So I don't know. The other lineups was like Cadeau and Davis with Lubin, Jackson, and Washington, and then they had one more with Lubin and Tyson with Washington and Davis and Cadeau.
You don't got
It
Powell in there at all? Drake Powell in there at all?
at all. And I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I see Drake Powell in there. Now I do see him like the seventh guy off the bench, possibly because of his defense. But I don't know if I see him as a starter. Like because honestly, Powell, I don't know how much of a shooter he is. His
He's not
defense
like a
is,
great.
is
He can
stellar.
make shots. He's not a great shooter, but he can make
Right.
shots. He definitely can make shots. So, but his defense is that good that
Yeah.
they could look past some of that stuff, and he can play that Leaky Black type of role. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Because Leaky Black wasn't a shooter per se, but later on in his career, he developed a pretty reliable jump shot. But his
Right.
thing was defense. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you got a guy that's just gonna be locking everybody the hell up, you know what I mean? He gonna make his way in. Hubert is a defense guy too, so
Yeah.
that's another reason why I think Drake Powell might sneak in there somehow, some way, because Hubert might be like, "Yo, kid is really playing deep. He locking everybody out. He really playing defense, or
For
I
sure.
need him to get in there to really stop somebody.
Yeah.
Shut their water off from the beginning of the game. Don't even let nobody get in rhythm. You know what I mean? Like he can
Yeah.
sneak in there, man. I'm telling you, he can sneak in there.
You think does he lock up Cooper?
I was talking to my brother about that, man, and I think that's gonna be one of the matchups that it's like, damn, it could be. I'll tell you this: he give Cooper some issues. He can give Cooper some issues for sure. You know what I'm saying? I think he definitely could give him some issues in the half court. Like if we talking like fast breaking transition type of thing, I
Yeah.
think Cooper is smart enough and he could get away, you know what I'm saying? He could do his thing. But in a half court, if you're just trying to, just isolate and just trying to go by him, it's not too many people that's gonna go by Drake Powell, period. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So,
true.
that's one of them things that, you're just gonna have to wait and see, man, because I think he's that good of a defender, man. I definitely, what I mean, show mad love to Drake Powell. That kid is a player, bro. He is a player. He's gonna make
Yeah.
North Carolina fans very, very happy, bro. Very happy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the same thing. And that's one of the things that I continue to keep thinking about. Like, does Drake lock up Cooper? Like, because when you think about it, Cooper's what?
He's like
6'8"?
6'8", 6'8",
Yeah,
6'9", yeah,
6'8".
6'8".
So and and Powell, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is like 6'6". So I mean, of course,
Like
Cooper got like
6'7".
2 more inches on him. Yeah. So who else? The only other person that I can see because Flag got that step to him, he got that quick step possibly to him. The only other person on Carolina that I can see maybe guarding him as far as around that same height frame would be maybe Withers because Withers is athletic. But
He is, but
yeah,
you don't want to put him. You don't want to put him on him, bro. That's barbecue chicken for Cooper. I'm telling you, that's barbecue chicken. Cooper gonna be
I
eating.
don't know, Pablo.
Yeah.
I don't
Like
know. I
Withers is
think it,
definitely athletic. He's strong. He's physical, but Withers, he's another one that be fouling a lot.
he do.
You
He
know what I'm
do.
saying? So he might make it difficult for the two possessions that he in the game, but then he gonna pick up 3 fouls. So
That's
it's
true.
like, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing about him, you know what I'm saying? But like physicality and size wise, pause. I think that he does match up well with Cooper. It's just, can he stay on the floor?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be the constant through with your bigs is, can they stay on the floor and stay out of foul trouble, bro?
Yeah.
It's gonna be, that's gonna be something y'all gonna have to do. You know what I'm saying? To have a chance against a lot of these teams, because guard play, y'all gonna be in the game just because of guard play, period. And that's
Yeah.
against anybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, can these bigs do what they gotta do? We'll see.
We'll see. Does this year define John Shire? Do we if it's not successful, is it
I
in
don't
is his career in question?
I don't think no singular year can really define a coach.
Right.
Um, Especially when he's so young and it's only his third year. So I don't think that's a fair statement. You know what I'm saying? I think the only time you could really define a coach is if when they reach their pinnacle, when they're at the top, when they win a championship. I think that's how you
Yeah.
define a coach is, what I mean, can he win a championship? Yeah, he can win a championship. Not, you can't define him for, going to the Elite Eight, getting beat, whatever the case may be, especially when it's all these variables that happen throughout the season, injuries, a lot of different things happen, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he got an
Right.
awesome roster right now. What if, what I'm saying, God forbid, what if Cooper and Kama get hurt? You know what I'm saying? Then, you're going to have those people out there that just be like, oh, he had this roster and they didn't even win a championship. But they're
Right.
not even mentioning the part that players got hurt or they had some other stuff going on. So I don't know, man. I wouldn't say that this year is going to define him, but I think this year will be very telling of how
Who
he
he
is
is
able
as a coach.
to
Yeah.
manage a roster that is loaded from top to bottom with talent, and how can he keep everybody happy, and what can he do as far as adjustments. I think that's more of what we will probably be able to judge him off of than his whole body of work, because he's just getting started, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't want him to end up like another Calipari. That's another topic for a later date, though.
Yeah, yeah. We definitely could talk about that.
That's another topic for another date, man. I'm just be honest with you. That's yeah. That's something else. We
Hmm.
talk off air off of that or whatever. But all right. So last topic, real quick. What are your worries for North Carolina against Duke this year,
I mean, I would just
or
say,
your worries in general? Not it don't have to be just against Duke, but just in general.
so I think, like we've been mentioning, I think your backcourt. I know when y'all play us, you know what I'm saying? Like traditionally, that backcourt that you guys have right now, last year you guys gave us a lot of problems because you guys were able to get in the lane a lot.
Hmm.
Cadeau got in the lane, you know what I'm saying? Period. There was no denying him. He got in the lane. So, what Duke started to do, they just sagged off of him, made him shoot, kind of took him out of the game. But RJ, I think Tyrese was able to match up with him and be really physical with him. So I think Tyrese took him out of the game for the 2 times that they
Yeah.
played him. I think he did a very, very good job of being physical and just making him work for everything. And Duke just, what I mean? They did a good job of shading them coming off of screens and everything. So they did a good job of that. But if we can keep those guys out of the lane, RJ and Cadeau, I
Hmm.
think we'll be okay. But that that goes into, you know what I'm saying, uh Ian, and who's the other kid? You
Drake
guys got another
Powell.
guard.
Oh, the
Yeah,
Trimble.
it goes into Ian and Trimble, you know what I'm saying? But I think Trimble is probably in the same mold as Cadeau. You know, you could pretty much sag off of him and let him shoot, and just hope that he don't make it. But Ian,
That
bro, Ian
defense.
is,
His
yeah,
defense.
Trimble's defense is crazy. His defense is crazy. But I really like Ian Jackson though, man. Ian Jackson, bro.
Ian
Like
is
he
a
can do it all, bro. Like you can't sag off of him because he gonna shoot that thing and he gonna shoot it with confidence and he's gonna make some shots. You know what I mean? And then he's got a elite first step, so he gonna go by a lot of players and just bang on them. So
mhm.
I think that's you guys' biggest advantage, obviously, is your backcourt, and that you guys got a bunch of guards that can make plays off the bounce, bro. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
guys might not have any elite shooters, but you guys got guards that can make plays off the bounce, and that's probably one of the most dangerous things that you could do. You know what I'm saying? Being a guard is being able to make plays off the bounce. So
Yeah.
if we keep RJ in check, you know what I mean? Make sure Cadeau isn't getting in the lane and keep those freshmen out of the lane. I think we have a good chance of beating you guys both games. But if those guys are just running wild doing what they want to do, shit,
Yeah.
y'all got a very good chance of beating us. You know what I mean? So let's hope that doesn't happen. You know what I'm
What
saying? Let's hope that.
who scares you the most?
I'd probably say Cadeau. I'd say Cadeau because he's such a good passer, man. Because he's making everybody else better. I think he's the guard on your team that makes everybody else better. RJ is
Right.
getting his. He's not really, making everybody else better. He's getting his.
Yeah.
Ian is gonna get his. You know what I'm saying? Drake is he's gonna play smart basketball, but Cadeau is 100% out there to try to make everybody else play better and make plays for everybody else. So if he's not scoring, he's passing. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's passing before he's even trying to score. So if
Yeah.
he's doing that, and if he's successful, and the game already be turned up. I mean, it's Duke versus North Carolina, so those dudes gonna be ready to play. So even dudes that don't normally do shit, you know what I'm saying, might come off the bench and hit 5 threes and some shit like that. So I think that, you got to keep guys like Cadeau in check, bro, for sure. You can't let
Yeah.
him, make everybody else better, bro. Because once he starts to do that and everybody gains confidence, it could be a long game, bro. It could be a long
The,
game.
the scary thing is going to be because this whole offseason, Cadeau has been working on that three.
Yep.
That's going to be
Yeah.
really, really, really scary for a lot of people because last year everybody sagged off of him.
Yep.
Everybody sagged off of him. I don't think you're going to be able to do that this year.
Yeah.
Like that.
I
Yeah,
agree.
that's yeah. And I will say if he does take that sophomore leap, that backcourt just, to me goes up to number one. It's the number one backcourt in the country, I think. I mean,
It's gonna be
because they,
dangerous.
yeah, it's gonna be crazy. You got
It's gonna be
defense, you
dangerous.
got scoring, you got you got everything. You got passing, you got everything out of that backcourt with Trimble, Jackson, Davis, and Cadeau. And it's gonna be a fun year for Carolina. I really do
Yeah.
think so. We just question the front court a little bit, but I think we'll be okay. As far as me for the Blue Devils, you know what? The only player that really scares me and worries me is Sion. He is a
Okay.
dog, bro.
He is. He
He
is.
is. I mean, he's solid too.
That's the only
I
one that
think
worries you, though.
he is. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he starts.
Yeah, I can see a world where that happens, man.
I
I
think he starts.
definitely, I definitely.
I think your starting five is. I can see a world where Foster comes off the bench. I don't think it's going to happen, but
Yeah.
I can see Proctor and Sion at your guard with Flag at 3, possibly playing the 4, Malawak at 5, and probably Malik Brown. I can see that. Or I can see Sion going to the 3, Cooper playing the 4, and Malawak at the 5. With
Yeah.
Foster and Proctor at 1 and 2 or whatever. So he worries me. He worries me. He's just built solid, man. Like
Yeah.
I,
Yeah,
I saw him.
yes.
I was like, yeah, dude, this guy here this is crazy. Like, where's Shire find him, man? From the football
Yeah,
field? Like,
I know. That's
bro,
a big, strong dude, man. It's gonna be
yeah. So
interesting, man.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. So but we'll see. It's every day. It's always still a great day to be a Tar Heel, regardless of what the Blue Devils say and who they got on their team. So it is what it is. It's gonna be a good year. Uh, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see what everybody does this season. I mean, this is gonna be a great season. With the new schools coming in as well. Like I'm really looking forward to this season or whatever. So we're
Yeah,
gonna see what happens or whatever. So, but
it's
we'll
gonna be
see.
dope.
But listen, man, tell everybody once again where they can find you and everything or whatever. Of course, we got to definitely do this again for
Yeah, for
sure.
sure. For sure. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, man, at Coach P Cong and at Acumen SG7. Um, find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram with those same names. You can find me at the 5 Point Play podcast. Yeah, just holler at me, man. Just reach out to me. You know what I'm saying? I make guest appearances, whatever you need me to do. I'm here for everybody, man. And I appreciate you having me on. Linzel, it's been fun, bro. And I'm definitely looking forward to doing this again, my brother.
Absolutely, bro. Like
Go,
I
go Duke.
appreciate you. No, 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 no. Not on here. We don't do that on here, brother. Nah, I gotta let you get it off though, man. That's what this is all about or whatever. So it's all friendly competition and debates going on here or whatever. So listen, man, I appreciate you coming on to the show today. We got some more shows lined up for sure. This is gonna be a great year, great season. We'll probably end up linking up again, maybe a couple more times before the season actually starts or whatever. Get some more debates going on, and maybe get some of the other
Sure.
guys involved as well. So
Sure.
make sure everybody y'all check out the 5 Point Play podcast on YouTube. My man Pablo is on there. Like this my guy right here. You know what I'm
Sir.
saying? So this is just it's just what we do, man, and go heels. We don't do that
Yeah.
Duke over here, man. You know that. Come on now.
Go Duke, man. Go Duke.
But listen, man, that's gonna wrap up today's show. I appreciate everybody, for joining us. Make sure you like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so that y'all don't miss out on anything. And until the next time, we'll see y'all on the next one.